Hi cooks. Okay, tonight we are making chicken enchilada casserole. Before we even get to the recipe calls for cooked and shredded chicken. So before we get to that, we need to cook the chicken. Now, if you are getting a meal kit from us, the chicken that you're going to be receiving is uncooked. So I'm going to show you the technique that I use for pre-cooking chicken. If you are buying your own meal kit, you can get a roasted chicken and shred it. You can get the pre-cooked portioned shredded chicken. You can cook chicken on the skillet, or you can do it in the oven. So I'm doing it in the oven. And what I've done is I put it in my baking dish. I've drizzled a little olive oil on there, and I've seasoned it with salt and pepper. So for chicken breast, I've preheated my oven for 400 degrees, and I'm going to bake it for a minimum of 25 minutes, and then I will check it maybe with a thermometer. It should be 160 degrees internally. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the oven, and then I will be back in a little while after it's cooked and shredded. Okay, welcome back, friends. Check this out. This is the chicken. It came out very nicely. I let it set, I let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then I put on some food handler's gloves. This is a different pair. And I just used my hands to rip it up into little pieces. And so it looks good, and I did a little taste test, and it's great. Okay, so this is your shredded cooked chicken. Now, the things we need for this dish, it's very simple, it's all here. We need the chicken, obviously. We're gonna need 6 corn tortillas. We need 3 cups of Monterey Jack cheese. We will be giving you an 18-ounce can or jar of enchilada sauce that we are going to be dividing into quarter cups. And I've already done the first measurement here. Okay. Now, we've got our measuring cup for the cheese, the quarter cup as I mentioned, and then we're using an 8x8 baking dish. This is my 8x8 well-used, well-loved baking dish. All right. Step 1, turn the oven on to 375. So the oven is preheating currently. All right, step 2, pour a quarter cup enchilada sauce into the baking dish. All right, so that's going to go directly on the bottom. Okay, and you're going to want it to cover the entire bottom of the dish. Next is to put 2 tortillas into the baking dish. It says medium. These are a little bit big, so we'll probably get you all the smaller size ones so they'll fit. Put 1/3 of the chicken in the dish. Okay, so dividing the 2 chicken breasts into thirds, I think you're gonna kind of just eyeball it. This is a layered dish. This is a casserole. It's not the same enchiladas that you may be familiar with that you roll it up. This is all like layered. So I'm just gonna grab a handful. This is why I put new gloves on after I wash my hands. So I'm gonna spread that. This is gonna be good. Guess what comes next? The cheese. One cup. So there's your first layer. All right, now you're going to do another layer of enchilada sauce. Okay, so when you are looking at your recipe, you will notice that I was supposed to put the enchilada sauce on first and then the cheese. So for this layer, I'm just gonna kind of spread it together and it'll be fine. All right, now you're gonna repeat steps 3 through 6 2 more times. So step 3 was the tortillas. So I'm gonna put another tortilla, another third of chicken, gonna make these pieces, some of these pieces a little smaller. More enchilada sauce, so I'm gonna measure that out. Okay, and another cup of cheese. And get a little more cheese. This is going to be extremely cheesy, I think. All right, and then the last layer, tortillas, chicken, and I think I'm gonna have some chicken left over, which we can discuss what to do with it later. And again, I highly recommend waiting until your cooked chicken has cooled down to shred it because it's just easier to handle that way. This reminds me kind of a lasagna as well, the way things are layered. Okay, another 1/4 cup of enchilada sauce. And you can see why I wore gloves. We will put some gloves in your kit. And one final cup of cheese, which this might actually be enough. Okay, great. I know what I'm having for dinner. Okay, now it's going to go in the oven and bake for 20 to 30 minutes until the cheese is melted. Yeah, put this in the oven and we'll be back here in about a half hour. Okay, there it is. I just took it out of the oven and I'm letting it cool as the directions say to do. I've also made a salad for the side for here, but I also know that you'll be making the Spanish rice to go with this. So that is going to be a great dinner for you and your family. I hope you enjoy it. See you next time.